The Nintendo Switch 2 is a month out. The pre-orders have come, they have gone. We had the announcement and everything, and we don't have to wait very long to get our hands onto this console. I got my pre-order in, and I'm very excited to get it, unbox it, play it, and just compare it to the current Nintendo Switch. But obviously, the biggest thing with the launch of a console is going to be the launch lineup. What games are we going to be able to play? And here are my top 5 games that I am excited for the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. And the first one, which is the one that I'm probably going to be spending the most amount of time on, probably in the first year of the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, is going to be Mario Kart World. Very excited for this one. I got the bundle pre-order, so it's coming in the box. I'll be able to jump in and play it day one. And my biggest thing with Mario Kart World was that I was a big Mario Kart 8 Deluxe fan. I thought that game was basically perfect. The courses, the amount of character selections, the verses, like everything in that game was awesome. The online was great. And I just didn't think that Nintendo would be able to improve upon it. I thought it was basically a perfect game and that they weren't going to be able to make anything better. And it looks like right now with Mario Kart World, they are going to improve on it. Everything we have seen so far from the open world style kind of reminds me of one of my other favorite racing games, which is Forza Horizon. So that alone has me excited for it. You're seeing the 24 players in the races as well as the battle modes, which looks like it is going to be a ton of fun. Obviously, some enhanced online multiplayer. Just now that we are in the year 2025, connections and everything should be better. So this, by all accounts, is looking like Nintendo has done it and that they are going to have improved upon Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I also think the upgrade in the graphics looks good. And when we're playing this on 4K TV, specifically OLED TVs, all of the colors and the color palette for this is going to pop and it's going to look absolutely beautiful in docked mode and then in handheld mode up to 120 FPS. This is going to be an amazing game for Nintendo Switch 2 throughout its entire generation. Like, this is one that I'll be playing now until the Nintendo Switch 3 comes out. So that is right now at the top of my list, and I feel like that is probably the same for most people here who are looking forward to picking up the Nintendo Switch 2 on launch. The next game I'm excited for, or I guess the package of games, are the upgrades for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Now, right off of the bat, I'm not a fan that these are paid upgrades. If you own the game, you pay $10. If you don't, you're paying full price. It makes sense, I guess, if you don't own it, to sell it as its own standalone game. But if you do already own Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like these should have just been free upgrades to show off the power of the Nintendo Switch 2. That being said, there's only $10, and what you get with this is higher resolutions, frame rates, HDR support, as well as access to this new Zelda app, Notes app or such, that lets you play through the game, take notes, and track everything kind of that you're doing. So I am excited about the upgrades because Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are two of my favorite Zelda and video games in general of all time. Like, they're in the top 10 list, hands down for me. But playing them on the current Nintendo Switch, I enjoyed it, but there were absolutely issues with it. There was absolutely performance, and there was always that thought in the back of my mind, and I think in the back of many people's minds, is how much better could this game be on better hardware? And we're finally going to see that. We're finally going to get that experience here with the Nintendo Switch 2 versions of these games, albeit for $10. I think the $10 is worth it. There'll probably be a nice upgrade to it. I just kind of wish they threw those in as thank yous for Nintendo fans who have been supporting the console, who have been supporting the franchise for all of these years, and people who bought the games who supported them. I feel like those should have just been free upgrades that you just downloaded as soon as you popped in your original Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom cartridge into your Nintendo Switch 2. But I still think it'll be cool. This app thing that they're showing off, I don't know, I'll try it. I'll see what it's all about and see if it adds anything to the immersion and experience to the game, maybe with the map on your phone and everything, and it'll just help you kind of find things and do stuff you haven't completed yet. Because I'm sure a lot of people who are jumping in, who are upgrading, have already spent countless hours in the game and have already experienced a lot, but there's so much to do in this game. The app will help you just figure out the stuff that you haven't completed yet. So I'm excited to see this game on an OLED TV and then in handheld with the 120 FPS screen, and just see the big upgrades from the original versions to now these Nintendo Switch 2 versions. The next one I'm excited for here is Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, as this is a game I originally played on the Nintendo 3DS. Absolutely loved it. To see it get this HD remaster for a portable / at-home console, obviously it's going to look very nice on a big screen TV, and then in handheld it's going to look significantly better than it looked on the Nintendo 3DS. It's something I think is pretty cool. These are the types of games that I do like seeing remastered, upgraded, brought over to new platforms when they're coming from far less powerful hardware, and even if they're coming from something like a handheld and they're bringing it over to now more of an at-home console, you see major upgrades in these styles of games. I love Bravely Default. I love turn-based RPGs, so this fits right in, and obviously these are amazing games to play on the go. This is like the big appeal for this one here, is that this will be the one that I always have ready to go in handheld when I'm outside of my house, when I'm laying in my bed, just jump in, go grind a little bit, all that stuff. So I am excited here for this HD remaster of Bravely Default. All right, the next one I'm excited for here is a game called Fast Fusion. This one, it's not a full price game. It's like 20 bucks or something, but I think it's flying under the radar for most people. This is kind of like an F-Zero style of racing game. F-Zero is a game that I wish Nintendo would put out a brand new one into the series. We're kind of getting a replacement here on launch day called Fast Fusion, and it's just a top end speed, fast paced racing game. We don't really see too much about it, but I love these styles of games at launch. Fun, arcade, action, going through. I always have to have a race game, although Mario Kart World is that game for the Nintendo Switch 2, but generally I have 1 or 2 racing games at the launch of any console, and this one looks like is one that I will end up picking up and playing, and just seeing if it's good, see if it is a good replacement here for F-Zero, which Nintendo, again, needs to get on their horse. They need to make a new one in this series. So this one's kind of flied under a lot of people's radar. I don't know. We'll see if it's any good. It may be a waste of money. I'm sure reviews will come out when the Nintendo Switch 2 does launch. And finally, the Nintendo GameCube stuff coming over to Nintendo Switch Online has me pretty pumped. The GameCube controller is cool. There was an update here that you can actually use this controller with other games, so that makes this controller now something that I would purchase. The GameCube's coming to Nintendo Switch Online will get me to resubscribe to Nintendo Switch Online, as the GameCube is one of my favorite consoles with an incredible catalog of games, and the ones that they are dropping into the service here on day one with the Nintendo Switch 2 will absolutely be worth your time to play, with Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, amongst other games. F-Zero is coming as well. So there are so many great GameCube games that you're going to be able to go in here and play. The only thing that I'm somewhat disappointed with, but we will see how this looks when we're actually playing it, is that I don't believe these games have really any sort of major upgrades to them, any sort of enhancements. It's just kind of the original GameCube stuff on the Nintendo Switch 2. I was kind of hoping for that backwards compatibility upgrade, something that we do see on both the Xbox Series XS and the PlayStation 5, but it does not look like that is the case. The cool thing here, though, as well, is that they are bringing back online multiplayer with these old Nintendo GameCube games, and that's going to be awesome to see how many people do jump in and play online. So absolutely, they got me with this, with the GameCube stuff. I will be re-signing up to the Nintendo Switch Online to play all this stuff. You can see some of the other features here that they do have, like customizing the controller, the saves, and everything like that will just make it overall a better experience. So very cool, and they'll continue to add to this catalog, but the catalog that they're starting with looks pretty solid. But those are my top 5 games that I think everyone should be excited for with the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Are you excited for those? What games are you more excited for than the ones that I mentioned here? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you were able to get a pre-order and if you're going to be picking this thing up day one. I'll end it there. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the subscribe, liking, sharing, all of that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video.